Good morning, everyone, and welcome back from the break. This next section is really great, and it's my ultimate pleasure to introduce you to the Minister of Sustainability, Innovation, and the Environment of the Government of Anguilla, Minister Quincia Gumbs-Marie, who will be delivering the next keynote speech. Let's welcome her on stage.
A pleasant good morning to all, and I hope that your morning has been going as great as you look. I bring you warm greetings from the island of Anguilla, a tiny Caribbean island with stunning beaches, delectable cuisine, picture-perfect views, luxurious accommodations, and 15,000 of the world's most friendliest people. My island, my home, and also home to countless species of birds, animals, fish, and other marine creatures, some of which are endemic, is an island with rich heritage and interconnectedness with our natural environment and a way of life that is reliant on maintaining that harmony. I am sure you will agree that what I describe sounds like paradise. In many ways, it is. But Anguilla is so much more than that. We are so much more than that. Islands like mine with small populations, small pockets, and small spheres of influence are at war, a climate war. The battle lines have been drawn. Rising temperatures and sea levels, stronger and more frequent storms and earthquakes, death of coral reefs, coral bleaching, ocean acidification, economies uh, in shambles because of climate crisis, coastal erosion, and the list goes on. These phenomena undermine our economies, cause significant infrastructural damage, biodiversity and financial loss, threaten livelihoods and our very existence. Added to this crisis is our continued overdependence on fossil fuels for energy, which means that our emissions, though insignificant, are supporting the industry that is arguably one of the greatest contributors to the climate crisis, accounting for approximately 60% of greenhouse gas emissions. Isn't it ironic that while we struggle to find the resources to successfully fight the climate war, we are stuck in the cycle of using the little we have to fund the ammunition that is working against us? Yes, we have to power our economies, but we also have to adopt a different approach. Our continued reliance on fossil fuels is not only undesirable, it is unsustainable. The fluctuation and unpredictability of climate fuel and the global fuel market, means that we are often saddled with high fuel prices. This results in the quality of the life of our people being compromised because they do not have access to affordable energy. Efforts at regulating costs can only go so far when so many of the variables are beyond our control. If nothing else, the issue of climate responsibility, energy affordability, and sovereignty ought to be the main drivers in our pursuit of energy independence. This is not a mere aspiration, but a fundamental necessity. We must strive to reduce our reliance on imported fossil fuels, which not only cause environmental damage and strain our economies, but also make us vulnerable to external supply disruptions. The pursuit of energy independence is a testament to our reliance, self-sufficiency, and commitment to environmental stewardship. However, our journey towards this noble goal will be marked by unique challenges that necessitate immediate and concerted action. One cannot advocate for energy independence in our context without coupling this with a transition to renewable energy. Transitioning towards clean energy sources is not just a choice, it is our responsibility to mitigate climate risk and preserve our islands for future generations. In the words of UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, If we are to avert climate catastrophe, renewables are the only credible path forward. Only renewables can safeguard our future, close the energy access gap, stabilize prices, and ensure energy security. This means that diversification of our energy portfolio and reducing the reliance on a single unsustainable source has to be our priority. We have to progressively replace our current energy source with sources of energy that are available to us on our own islands. The abundant solar, wind, hydro, and geothermal resources that bless our islands must be harnessed to power our economies sustainably. Therefore, it is not only the right energy mix and use of technologies that we must identify to suit our unique characteristics, but we must also employ other strategies. For example, we must ensure we have resilient energy grids and scale up our investments to improve grid infrastructure to ensure that it is fit for purpose and energy distribution is at an optimal level while losses are minimized. We must also ensure that our legislative interventions are aligned with our goals. For many of us, our legislations were framed in an era before the transformative potential of renewable energies was realized, and in many situations created monopolies for electricity companies to operate. Without change, we risk being held hostage by outdated legislation that has not kept pace with our new energy goals. Additionally, if we are to lead the charge for the renewable energy transition, we have to bring our people along with us. We can begin by seeking to improve energy efficiency. We can reduce our energy burden through rigorous public education about energy conservation and also incentivizing the use of energy efficient options for lighting, cooling, and or heating by making these options more affordable to the consumers. The shift in public perception and support must be driven by policy changes that demonstrate that we are committed to the transition and that the public will obtain some tangible, preferably financial, benefit from being part of this transition. Further, we cannot underestimate the power of leading by example. Our actions matter. And we have to ensure as governments that we too are investing in renewable technologies to power our buildings, vehicles, fleets, etc. But we must go a step further. The opportunity for job creation and new business development that come with a shift towards renewable energy technologies is an exciting prospect, and it underpins the tenets of a just transition, but its full benefits can only be realized through supporting investments in education as well as upskilling the populace to ensure that residents have the required technical capabilities to address the growing demands that go hand in hand with energy independence and the transition towards renewable energies. While in Anguilla we are still in the early stage of the transition, it is clear that a myriad of players must be at the table if we are to have any reasonable chance at success. These include the regulators, electricity providers, the financial institutions, the private sector representatives, education institutions, relevant government departments or agencies, regional and international institutions. And though this list may sound long, it is not exhaustive. Everyone has to understand the goal and support the approach being adopted to achieve this goal. However, achieving these goals hinges significantly on accessing financing, which presents a substantial challenge for small island nations. We are acutely aware of the financial constraints and limited resources that impede our progress. Therefore, unlocking adequate financing mechanisms becomes paramount. We must foster an environment conducive to attracting investments both by domestic and foreign entities, offering incentives, streamlining regulatory processes, and establishing favorable policies that encourage private sector investment and participation. I too join with my regional colleagues and I call upon the global community, international financial institutions, and developed nations to extend their support and solidarity to small islands. We are victims of environmental abuse. seemingly abandoned and left to fend for ourselves. We are seeking shelter and a fair chance at winning a climate war. In times of war, the global north has historically intervened by providing weaponry, human resource, intelligence, and other forms of aid. This moment is no different. We therefore appeal for innovative financial instruments, concessional loans, and grants specifically tailored to our unique circumstances to facilitate our energy transition endeavors. The path to energy independence and renewable energy transition for small islands is fraught with challenges but brimming with opportunities. Let us capitalize on these opportunities, invest courageously, and forge a path towards a sustainable, prosperous, and resilient future for our islands and global communities. Thank you.